Well, a very pleasant good evening. It's time for the new and improved Small Biz Florida with Katie Muldoon.
Thank you, Greg. I love that intro. I hope Tom hates it. Welcome to another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida, brought to you by the Florida Small Business Development Center at Indian River State College. Small Biz Florida is designed and produced to create awareness for the business assistance programs available here at IRSC. We will also spend time during our hour together to highlight entrepreneurial success, best practices, and discuss all things business around the Treasure Coast and the state of Florida. I am not Tom Kindred. My name is Katie Muldoon, and I proudly serve as your executive producer of Small Biz Florida, the podcast and broadcast, as well as your local administrative and outreach specialist here at the Florida Small Business Development Center at IRSC, and I will be your host for this episode. So before we dive in, I do really want to hear, Greg, I know you have been traveling. I was in the studio yesterday and you were telling me about your adventures. How is the world of Pioneer basketball?
Well, doubleheader win last night. The ladies won the opener and the guys pulled out a 72-70 win in front of a lot of NCAA Division I coaches across the way.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So the Pioneers are number 5 in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, up from number 7. So they're having an amazing year.
We really do have an outstanding sports division here at IRSC, and I
great
hope
academics.
Yeah,
great academics.
They really do. Did you get you a Red Bull? Looking a little sleepy over there.
No. These bus rides are starting to kill me, though. That's actually going to be the last chapter of my book.
Is it?
Yeah, My Life on a Bus.
Oh yeah. Do I get a signed copy?
Yeah, you don't want it.
Well, that'll be one of our segments. We'll talk about Greg's book here in the upcoming months of 2022. I am so excited to introduce our guests tonight. With us, we have Dorothy Kamm from the Port St. Lucie Business Women Organization. And Dorothy, why don't you go ahead and introduce your organization's new president?
Okay, this is Jessica Parrish, and she is awesome and has a lot of great ideas and great energy for this upcoming year.
That is so exciting.
Thank you.
Both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Got some really great information to talk about tonight. So Dorothy, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about your professional background and what led you to the organization, and then we'll dive into the same question for Jessica.
I was an artist, or I still am an artist, but I was also always a writer.
Okay.
And I developed a profession not only as a writer, but also in public relations. And I've lived here 34 years. So I know a lot of people, and many of my friends were encouraging me to join the business women. The timing just wasn't right. I could not make the time commitment. And in January of 2008, one of my friends really almost begged me to join so that I could help do the public relations for the fashion show, because they never really had a PR person as part of the organization. And I was working full time then, and the company I was working for, my boss said, go for it.
Okay.
So with his blessing, I became involved and helped not only put the fashion shows on the map, get them even more publicity where they were sellout, shows, but also where I started getting publicity for the organization. So the community awareness really blossomed. And that was so important because we had been around since 1980, but a lot of people did not know about us, did not know what we did. So that was important.
We love a supportive boss. Thank you to that boss that, pushed you for the opportunity, and knowing your background with writing, maybe you can help Greg with his book when it's getting close.
Oh, a ghost
I'll
writer.
bring my red pen.
There you go.
That's all right. Carol already does that.
Okay.
And, Jessica, same question to you. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I moved to Florida 31 years ago, so pretty close. Left for college from Port St. Lucie, went to Gainesville. Sorry for those FSU fans, but I did go
Tom
to Florida.
would be happy. Go Gators.
Yes, go Gators, go Gators. Came back, started my career, worked for St. Lucie County for about 6 years, and then ended up shifting down south to Palm Beach. I ended up commuting. When I came back and got a position with United Way, I wanted to get involved in the community. And the individual that I was replacing retired. Chris Adams.
Okay.
She encouraged me to join Port St. Lucie Businesswomen. She was a very active member at the time. still is as an honorary and a retired member, encouraged me to join. And I think that very first year I became grants committee. It was like, you're the new sucker on the block, you're it. And I ended up staying as grants chair 2 or 3 years. And then they're like, yep, vice president, you're president. Done.
Moving up the ladder.
So you kept missing meetings, right?
Apparently, yes. Well, I missed the key meetings. Yeah, the important voting meetings is what happened.
Well, we're so happy you moved up the ladder, though, and I'm excited to hear what's going to come out of this organization. And you talked about your involvement in the
Mhm.
community. Both of you, tell us a little bit about what this organization does in the community. What are some examples of places we might see you or events we might hear your name at?
It's not so much that as what we do for the community. We raise, with our fashion show and the Brick Paver Project, we raise money that we give scholarships to women attending Indian River State College. And we also give grants. Everything we raise stays in the community. So we give grants to organizations that deal with women and children's issues.
That is so great. Can you talk a little bit about the scholarships for the students out there?
The scholarships, well, we have 3 of them, and they are for women. One who is graduating high school going. Another one is a woman returning to college.
Yep.
And what is
Okay.
the third one? Is that somebody who is in college? Okay,
Yes.
so we cover all grounds, and then you can talk more about the grants.
Yes.
Since that's your baby.
Yeah, has been, yes. So our grants focus on programs or agencies that serve women and children in St. Lucie County. And that could be creating hygiene kits for teenagers so that they don't have an issue during their monthly time at school when they run out of supplies, or feeding for students over the weekends. There's a lot of kids that only receive their meals during school. And when they go home on the weekends or the summer, there's not a lot of food at the house. So we helped raise funds to provide funding to those agencies to help solve a need in the community when it comes to women and children.
That's amazing. That is really great work.
And what's even more amazing is that over the years, we've donated over $200,000 to these programs.
Wow.
Yes.
Over
So it's
200,000.
not small change.
No, it's not. And that's all from just the fundraisers. So recently we added the Brick Paver because due to COVID, we were unable to hold a fashion show for the last 2 years.
Right.
So the Brick Paver project came in as our 40th anniversary replacement of the fashion show. But that's all from the fashion show and the Brick
Right.
Paver, the $200,000.
That
It's
is
amazing.
amazing. I'm so excited to get more details on both of those. Before we move on to the events themselves, though, tell us a little bit about the application process for either the grants or the scholarships. Where could somebody go if they wanted to learn more or apply, or could they call you? What's the best way to get that?
It's
information?
online. It's through the IRSC website
Okay.
for the scholarships.
Okay, awesome.
And I know that to date, I believe we've given out 68 scholarships. So we help ensure the futures of these 68 women.
That is so amazing. I did
grants-
not know that.
The grants we don't do online though, do we?
The grants are not done online. The announcement typically goes out in the springtime. Once we figure out how much we've raised from fashion shows and things like that, we can budget and figure out how much we have available for grants. But that typically goes out through social media, word of mouth, or through Dorothy's efforts with PR and things like that. And that application is a paper application
Okay.
that when the grants chair is in place, we can put them in contact with that individual to get that paperwork.
Okay, perfect. And we'll circle back to contact, but what are those social media handles so we can plug them real quick while we're on the topic?
Well, we have the Facebook page under Port St. Lucie Businesswomen.
Got it.
And then we have our own website, pslbw.com.
Correct.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the different Port St. Lucie business women. What differentiates your organization from other similar organizations? Why would somebody want to join this one?
Because we have fun.
Because we're awesome.
Just by
Hello.
meeting y'all, I can tell that's
I
true.
mean, come on.
Well, we function on several levels. We become friends, so we have that social component. We mentor each other and support each other, which is also important. And we have a common goal. And having lived in this community for so long, what I particularly like about the business women, it's the one organization where you can have a wide ranging impact. You
Right.
instead of think about how many grants we give out and all the
Mhm.
different organizations, you can't be involved with every single one, but being involved with ours, we can impact so many others in a
Yeah.
very positive way.
That's amazing. Very philanthropic. I think I'm saying that word right.
Philanthropic.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we
Yes.
go. There
You're
we
close.
go.
That's good.
Perfect.
You did
was-
good.
Waiting for words.
Yes.
I beat her to it.
Yes.
Shouldn't have told me that. I'll be sending you my theses and things like that, asking for help. How does somebody get involved? How do they join? And would there be specific roles for a new member or?
So typically an individual that's interested in joining is sponsored by a current member. So
Okay.
they would reach out to a friend or someone they know that's most likely involved in Port St. Lucie business women. Otherwise, if they don't know someone, they could always submit on our website. There's a contact us page, and it's usually, I'm interested in membership, and either myself or our secretary will reach out to that individual to see if there's connections that can be made, or one of us could sponsor them to
Right.
come to a lunch and really see what it's about. We ask individuals that are interested in joining to attend 2 lunches before the members vote them in to make sure this is what they want, that
Right.
it's something they want to be involved in. They like what we do. They're passionate about how we handle things, things like that.
And that it's a good fit, because
Right.
we don't want somebody joining and then after a meeting or two, oh, it's not what I thought it would be.
Right.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and we have several committees. So depending on what you're interested in, if you're interested in numbers, we have an audit committee. That's not my cup of tea.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we have scholarship committee, we have grants and community engagement committee. We have now a sunshine committee to help greet and, engage with new members or just members as a whole, hospitality, all kinds of committees.
And everybody helps on fashion show committee. We
Yeah.
all have to do something because it's our one major fundraiser and
Right.
takes everybody's efforts.
Who wouldn't want to be involved in that one though?
Yeah,
You
I know.
can't
Yeah.
specify a committee for that. I feel like everybody would fight over it.
I
You know,
think it's
everybody wants
just
a spot.
you show up and you do what you have to
Right.
do.
Completely
Right.
understand. I am a veteran of working events.
Mhm.
Completely get it. About how many members do you have?
We're right now recruiting for new members, and we're getting ready to validate all of our members. Our membership dues are due at the end of January, but we were about 40-ish members. We
Okay.
dipped a little bit because of COVID.
Right.
Instead of having lunches twice a month, we went to Zoom, then we switched to hybrid. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity to bring new members in, but we are recruiting for new members right now because we are getting back into the
Right.
swing of things.
And they could reach out and express interest via the website, social media,
right.
and all that.
Or
All right.
even on the Facebook, if they want to send a message, we have access to all of the Facebook
Mhm.
Messenger and everything if they want to reach out that way as well.
Perfect. Perfect. So let's get into what I'm so excited to
Yeah.
talk about. Tell us about this fashion show.
It will be April 30th at Harbor Ridge Yacht and Country Club, which is in Palm City.
Okay.
And it will be from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're so excited because we have the most fabulous silent auction, over 100 items. We have raffles. This year, we're working on one with, I believe, the Hutchinson Resort. We're going to have a staycation package. And also, we have a piece of jewelry that is custom designed and donated from G. Allen Fine Jewelry.
Wow. That's some name dropping here.
Right,
I like that.
right.
It's an amazing time. It'll
It
be
is.
fun. This year we started down the road of a fashion show in 2020.
Right.
Then COVID came, so we
Right.
had to put that to the side. But we're going to continue with the theme that we were planning on in 2020, which is under the sea.
Okay.
So everything will be geared towards the ocean and things like that. So all of our baskets will be themed of some sort around that.
Okay. All right. And tell me about, the models, the flow of the event. Could I come be a model if I wanted? How do you pull those people?
Right. We have a fashion show chair. So as part of the membership, all of our members select a committee or 2 if they're passionate to serve on. And we ask those with leadership abilities or potential to serve as either the chair or chair-elect. So our fashion show chair and their committee go out and solicit small businesses or boutiques in the area, or our current fashion show chair knows some of the designers in the community
Okay.
to see if they would be willing to showcase their designs. When we were planning the one in 2020, I think she was looking at 2 local designers
Right.
to showcase their own collection during
Okay.
the fashion show. In the past, we went to some of the smaller boutiques in the community and pulled in just random models off the street. Not literally, but
Yeah.
just community members to help
Right.
showcase their designs.
So I'm not sure yet. We're still in the early planning stages.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. All right. Tell me about the history of the fashion show. You know, where did this come from? What was the inspiration to do this specific type of event?
The organization wanted to just have one fundraiser a year instead of others that are constantly doing it, because it takes a lot of, I mean, it takes a whole year to plan one
Right.
event, as you know. And I'm not sure how far back it goes, but it used to be held in November, December with a Christmas theme.
Okay.
But when we got hit with hurricanes Francis and Jean, and then the following year Wilma, then they decided, let's have it in the spring before hurricane season.
Smart decision in Florida.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So this will be our 30th one that we're hosting.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. I can't believe I've never heard of this. This sounds like so much fun. Definitely want to get the SBDC involved. We'll be following up after the show. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about how it benefits the community. What comes out of the event?
Well, like I say, number one, if it's a local designer or a shop,
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
work is showcased.
Right.
We're also seeking sponsors as
Yeah.
well as donations. So people like that will get credit. And all the money we raise goes right back into the community. So it's a chance to have fun.
Yeah.
And do something good. And then the silent auction items are awesome. There's often a lot of competitive bidding because they're
For
really
sure.
good items.
Yeah. 100% of everything that's raised from the fashion show goes to those scholarships and the grants
Right.
that we mentioned earlier.
That's
So that
amazing.
helps us, put more women into school, or more programs to help feed and
Right.
shelter and clothe children and women in the community.
Okay. Wow. I'm so excited. I'm gonna get Greg involved too. Greg,
Greg
you
can
want to come be a
model?
model?
Yes.
We can sign them
We
up
do
to
have
model.
men's models because we
Oh,
do have some
yes.
men's fashion.
I think I do the 50-50 thing.
Come on, Greg. It'll be fun.
No, actually, I have done the 50.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had a mayor in Port St. Lucie who didn't play fair, but I thought I had sold more tickets, but apparently the other Greg did.
Aw.
The
No,
other Greg.
It was so much fun. It really was. And it's an amazing event.
Mhm.
And you guys could not have picked a more beautiful spot.
Yeah,
That's
Harbor
true.
Ridge
That's
is
true.
absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Yes.
it's incredible.
And it's actually, even though it has a Palm City address, it
Yeah.
really is in St. Lucie County,
is.
because that's another thing. We want to stay in the county.
Mhm.
And it's the one place that will actually hold 300 people, because we have 300.
Comfortably.
Yes.
Comfortably.
Right.
That's it,
And
comfortably.
beautifully. I've
Yeah.
And
heard.
beautifully with enough parking.
Right, exactly. And a separate room where we can have the silent auction.
Right.
So we work very well with them. We have
Mhm.
for years.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I've heard really good things about that venue.
It's a great venue. Yeah.
Excited to see it.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, half of that club is in St. Lucie County.
Mhm.
It's like split right down the
Yes.
middle. Yeah, it's.
I did
it's
not know
amazing.
that.
Yes.
It's right
yeah,
on that cusp.
Yes, it is.
So talk a little bit about what a sponsor might look like for the event. Do you have certain levels? Is it just other organizations or businesses that are passionate about the initiatives you're putting forth that want to get involved?
Yep.
We have levels. I don't remember what they were from the last time. Like I think there's 5,000, 2,500.
Yep.
Something like 1,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's the
and it's any
deadline?
business that's interested in helping out our organization, or any organization. It could come from a nonprofit as well. And typically with a sponsor package, depending on your level, secures you X number of tickets and things like that. But the sponsors are really to help us offset costs of the
Right.
event, so that we can put more money into the scholarships and
Right.
grants and really push all that money that way.
Right.
Okay. Is there a deadline for a sponsor?
As
get
of right
involved?
now, with the event being April 30th, I would say the end of March would be our deadline so that we can secure all of the sponsorships, have the budgets all cleared and know financially where we're at.
Okay.
And
Yep.
we also publish a booklet that every attendee gets. So we want to make sure that everyone is represented in that.
Make sure their logos are in there and
Okay.
whatever they need to be reflected in
Right.
that as well.
And I also want to mention our organization is 100% volunteer. None of us are paid. So that's why everything we do is for the organization. And
Awesome. And that leads into my next question. Is there any opportunity for volunteer involvement on sponsors, vendors, or even students?
Yeah, why not?
we haven't,
Absolutely.
but sure.
Yeah, I mean, we could always use students at like check-in
Right.
or help man some of the stations that are going on. And that could help alleviate some of the pressure from us as members to focus on
Right.
more of the heavier
They could be
items.
runners.
Yeah, we could utilize any volunteers as runners and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think the School of Business does have a business club, Collegiate DECA. I led it for a couple years, and there is a category of the competitive events aspect of that club that is fashion merchandising in the fashion industry.
Mhm.
So some students who are going into that may be interested. So I'll be sure to share, this show with them and see if they can
Yeah,
get involved
awesome.
and things like that.
If anybody's interested in volunteering, they can email info@pslbw.com. And that'll come to myself and our secretary, and we can route that directly to the fashion show chair so that she knows and can reach out.
All right, perfect. What sort of crowd does this event draw? Who will be there? Is it open to the
Everybody
public?
who is
Hello.
anybody.
so it's
Every-
open to the public?
Yes, absolutely. Tickets will probably go on sale the first week in February. It'll be completely online sales only this year.
Okay.
But they'll go on sale that first week and it's open to the public, the general public.
And how much is a ticket?
Roughly about 55. We're working on costs now because everything is increasing.
Right.
Right.
But we try to keep ticket price down because we want people to spend their money on the silent auction.
auctions. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it's
Right.
about 55. In the past, it's been 55. We're hoping it stays the same. We need to
Right.
confirm because we've continued the booking at Harbor Ridge.
Right.
Right.
Confirm that that is staying the same, but
Right.
it'll be, if it's not 55, it'll be around there.
Okay.
Right, for sure. It's not going to jump up anything crazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't foresee that happening.
Okay, so that's exciting details about your main event, but I know we do have another one, the brick paver project. Am I saying that
Right.
correctly?
Yes, that's correct. That was the brainchild of our member, Diane Gallagher. She is head of history committee. She is also a longtime resident of Port St. Lucie. And she did this in conjunction with our Ruby Jubilee, our 40th anniversary. And it was a way to not only raise funds to potentially replace what we would normally have made in a fashion show because we couldn't hold a fashion show, but also it's a way to be a commemoration for the community. For our 30th anniversary, she arranged to have a tree planted in front of City Hall.
Wow.
And Mayor Oravec was thrilled with it because he says, we're always giving something to the community. Instead of hosting a big party, he said, we chose to give a tree. Then we donated a plaque for the 35th. So we had that. And then for the 40th, she came up with the idea to have this brick sidewalk leading up to the tree. And you can have buy a brick, you get it engraved with whatever you want. You can,
Wow.
so it can be, you have the names of your grandkids. It could say happy birthday. It could just be, whatever in memory of somebody. Could be your business name.
It's the Port St. Lucie legacy. You get to leave.
Yes,
And it's there
Leave your name.
forever.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do people get involved in this project? Is it specifically in-house? Is this something that
We have on our website, there is a tab that says buy a brick.
Mhm.
So you could do everything online and it explains everything and, whatever they want to say and
how much is a brick?
$100.
That is not bad at all
Forever.
for a
For-
legacy in Port St.
It's there
Lucie.
forever.
Right.
That's how I'm going to be remembered. Submit my application for
There
my
you go.
brick.
Put your
Yeah.
name right there.
So this happens all the time. There isn't a specific date anybody can submit at any time.
It's
Yeah.
an
Plan a
ongoing project.
ceremony.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And same deal, but does the money go towards funding the organization, or is it for the grants and scholarships?
Grants and scholarships.
That is
Yeah.
so awesome.
The organization's expenses are funded through our membership dues. So
Okay.
that our dues cover the operational side of the organization. Anything else that we raise through bricks, through fashion show, or any other endeavor that we undertake goes straight to 100% scholarships and the community action and grants.
That is amazing. I could have you say that statement 14 times more, and,
Yeah.
and that would be the end of the show. We need to say no more after that. How can someone become more involved in any of your events and learn more about the Port St. Lucie businesswomen? I know we plugged your social medias and your website, but let's go over how to get in contact with you two if anybody has any questions or.
Yeah, so I'm president at pslbw.com. If anybody has, like, if volunteers are interested in coming to our events or just learning more about us, the info at pslbw.com is perfect. They're more than welcome to visit our website. It has all the details. And then there's a contact us section on there as well. Or our Facebook page.
Okay. And what about you, Dorothy? If somebody needed editing help or something, would you be open to that? Could they get a hold of you?
That's something I do on the side.
The
but
side. Got to
That's
plug the
only
side
Greg.
hustles.
That's only for Greg.
Yeah.
Only for Greg. Okay. Public announcement. Special treatment just for Greg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she
But if
has no
anybody's
idea.
if anybody's interested and they email either president or info at pslbw, we're able to route it to exactly where it needs to go and get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When's your next meeting?
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
Fingers
right.
crossed we'll do it in person.
Right.
So if people want to get involved, now's the time to email.
Yes.
Again, that's
Yeah.
info@pslbw.com, info@portstluciebusinesswomen.com. That is how you can learn more about any of the events that we talked about tonight,
Yep.
learn more about the organization, get involved. For my students listening, might be a community service opportunity. And the date of the fashion show again?
April 30th.
April
Yes.
30th.
Yep.
And
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay. And it's Palm City, Harbor Ridge.
Harbor Ridge, 11 to 2.
Right.
11
We'll
to
be there
2.
all day
Yeah.
so they can earn as many volunteer hours as they wish.
That's so exciting. I know a few students, they're going to hear the word fashion. They're going to be all over it. So
Uh-huh.
hopefully we can get you a few volunteers.
Good.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. Anything else you want to add before we bring on our second guest?
No, it's
No?
pretty much covered everything. And thank
Yeah.
you so much for hosting us, Katie.
Of
Awesome.
course, as
Thank
we were
you.
talking before the show, I would love to start doing some reoccurring segments. And I always love when I overpower Greg and bring the ladies in to talk about some things, outnumber him. Usually I'm outnumbered. So would love to have you back when it gets closer to the event to talk
Perfect.
a
Sure,
little
thank
bit more
you.
about it and
Yeah.
how your numbers are looking. And
Great.
things like that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Greg, with that, you want to cut?
You bet. We will be back. Segment 2, straight ahead.
And we are back. Welcome. We are live, Small Biz Florida. It's Thursday. We're excited to be here. It just started raining outside. I'm wondering if it's going to snow, but probably not because we're in South Florida. But I did have a meeting with our Florida SBDC headquarters this morning, and they did tell us that it might snow in Pensacola. So that is exciting news. I have never seen snow before, so I'm considering driving up there. You might not see me tomorrow. This is my memo to Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, catch both of us in Pensacola.
Snow in Pensacola. Yeah. Yeah.
A big change for you, Miami to Pensacola. You might catch a cold with the change in atmosphere.
Well, we hit when we made the national tournament last year in Kansas, we hit a snowstorm up there, and several of our players had never seen snow. So it was the ultimate snowball fight in front of the hotel. It was great.
It's like culture shock almost.
Oh, it is.
From what I hear,
Yeah.
I have some former DECA students who went to Indian River State College for their 4-year degree and then transferred for their graduate program to Indiana State University. And they sent me some pictures of their first snowman and all the snow gear they bought, and talked a little bit about how school's going. But it was really funny to talk to them to hear how how cold it is out there. It's a
Oh,
completely different
yeah.
world than what we're used to. So speaking of a completely different world, we had two very exciting guests on just a few minutes ago before we broke. We had Jessica Parrish and Dorothy Kamm from the Port St. Lucie Business Women Organization talking about their annual fashion show event they have to raise money for scholarships and grants for women that want to go to school at Indian River State College and other programs and things like that. That event is April 30th. If you'd like to get involved, please visit their website at pslbw.com. Again, that's Port St. Lucie businesswomen.com, or you can email them at info@pslbw.com if you'd like to get involved with volunteer opportunities or join the organization, learn about it. Really great segment, great set of guests. I'm looking forward to having them back in March to talk a little bit more about the event itself.
That sounds like fun.
Yes, and the voice behind the second mic over here, I'm so excited. We have our very own audio engineer for our podcast and our center's marketing specialist, Linda Gonzalez, is joining us as our second guest. Linda, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Excited? You can come anytime you want. This is your
nervous.
show.
I know. I'm the star of the show.
Star of the show, always. Linda is a very talented young lady. She does all of our graphic design. I was very excited. We met a couple years ago. She's an IRSC grad. She did some videos for the study abroad program, and we needed some videos made for our center, for our success stories for clients. And I was like, I know a student, and I called her, and now it's been a little over a year. You've been full time with us, right?
Yes.
Super exciting. We're so excited to have you on the team, and really has done some great work, including our new website that we're hoping to launch. We have a mini version out right now. You can go to irscbiz.com or always call our center at 772-336-6285 because we have all of our events posted on there. We have quite a few events going on right now. Our center is so busy, as we always are, but just to name a few, we do have the ever so popular Profit Mastery program that kicked off in Lincoln Park last week.
That's right.
Yep. Tuesday of this week got postponed, so it's going to push us another week into March, but it's running all the way until March 8th. Registration for this specific course is closed, but we're going to have another one probably starting in, I want to say the beginning of April is we're looking to secure the venue next week. And then once we secure the venue, we can open registration for students. If you've never heard of Profit Mastery, this is a great opportunity for business owners, CFOs, entrepreneurs that want to learn more about the financial side of their business and how to do bookkeeping, how to manage their cash flow, how to manage growth. It's amazing how it ties into human resources as well, and all those topics that an entrepreneur or small business owner would need to be successful in their organization. So I know Linda's going to join us on February 22nd to shoot a little Profit Mastery commercial at the Lincoln Park Center, the IRSC Lincoln Park Center. So we have, I think, 11 registered in this class, which is great for a pandemic course.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the term pandemic course anymore because we're on the end of it, but I'm excited to see people are out. We hope. Yes, we hope we're at the end of it, but I'm excited to see people registered and getting involved. Aside from Profit Mastery, we do our monthly Start Smart orientations, which I'm going to dive into a little bit after we talk about the podcast and some social media tips with Linda. But that Start Smart orientation, the next one is Wednesday, January 26th. You can call our center to get registered. Again, that number is 772-336-6285. That Start Smart orientation, we're going to go over a mini version of it after we talked to Linda. That is for anybody that wants to start a business or wants to learn about the SBDC in general. This is the class for you. It's a 2-hour orientation. We do it monthly. This next one's going to be on the Pruitt campus in St. Lucie West. Again, you can register by calling 772-336-6285. And we have about 14 people registered for this one, which is more than we've had in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a new record.
Yes, and I don't know if it's because Tom's getting more famous or what, but he is our facilitator for the one coming up next week. So he will be guiding the entrepreneurs through this one, and it is our first Start Smart with our new presentation. We're going to focus a little more on the 10 steps that you need to do before your business starts, the things you need to structure before you actually launch your business, talking a little bit about startup capital and getting registered with Sunbiz and all those important aspects of how to get rolling. Because as our SBDC headquarters CEO, Greg Britton, told us, Florida had a record number of Sunbiz records created last year. We had more than California and almost double that of New York City, which was amazing to me. Because think about how many people that go to NYU or how many people that moved to New York for that Friends lifestyle. I don't know if anybody watches Friends other than me. But when he told me that we had more than New York City, I was blown away. I wasn't surprised, but I was blown away.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking.
Lot of new businesses coming to Florida, a lot of commerce happening here. So it's a good time to start your business. If you were thinking about doing something, I would strongly encourage you to give us a call so we can get you registered. Again, that's 772-336-6285. And the next class is Wednesday, January 26th, starts at 6 p.m. We prefer that you register ahead of time by calling, but you are welcome to come and just show up, bring a notebook. Starts at 6 p.m. in the F building on the Pruitt campus, also known as the Enterprise Hub. So we are excited. Linda and I will be in the class that night. So hopefully we can give our regional director some time off and we can lead the classes moving through 2022 and add some social media aspects to it, because I think social media and business go hand in hand now.
I really do think so.
Can't have one without the other. And that is why we have Linda on our show this evening. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of starting social media for your business, as well as podcasting in general, because podcasts they're popular right now. They are the thing to do if you're an entrepreneur or just somebody that likes to talk a lot, which is me, obviously. So Linda, let's dive in. What should someone consider before starting a podcast, and how does one start the process?
Well, Katie, as you know, the reason why we're talking about this today too is because our center actually has a podcast by the same name as this broadcast, Small Biz Florida. And today I'm on here talking about how to start your podcast. And the first step is to do your research. And that includes understanding the technology, preparing to be a good interviewer, and listen to other podcasts to get a sense of topics, timing, and technology. And as you're going around listening to these podcasts that you like, make a note of what you like about the podcast, because then you can incorporate that into your show.
And how you flow your show. I know you're big on true crime podcasts.
Yeah, so that doesn't really help us here with the business podcast that we host.
I think they go hand in hand, You gotta have a little crime, keep your life exciting.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. Do not take my advice at all to our listeners on that one. But the flow of some of the podcasts that you listen to, I know that's how we try to structure some of our episodes as well.
Yes.
Whether it's question and interview or if it's monologue style, it depends on the organization and the topic of conversation, but there's so many different varieties out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about those different
last
podcast
thing
styles.
You want to do is put people to sleep.
Right.
Yeah. Just kind of a PBS interview type thing. You don't want to do that.
Definitely not. Which, funny that you say that, though. There are podcasts for people who have sleep disorders, and it's like something to do with the frequencies. You put it on when you're starting to go to sleep, and it's supposed to be different sounds that soothe the body. So whereas if you're an informative podcast, you don't want to put people to sleep, but if you do need to sleep, there is a podcast for you. And you can find them on Spotify.
I did not know
I'm a frequent flyer on the No Sleep podcast.
So I listen to crime and you listen to frequencies. Okay.
Right. There you go.
We're getting somewhere tonight.
2 peas in a pod. So Linda, talk about different podcasting styles. How does someone go about finding guests for their new show?
Yeah. So the different podcast styles that exist are, interviews, conversational. We also have people who do a monologue and they talk about certain topics that interest them, or kind of like when you listen to like self-care podcast, it's just always, well, not always, but like one person talking about, how to guide you through a meditation and stuff like that. You also have storytelling, and most of the time, people will make up like a story, and they just use different voices or different characters, and it's kind of like you're watching a movie, but it's like you're listening to it. And then you got like the hybrid of all, an interview podcast can also be kind of conversational in the same sense. And the way that you can go about getting a guest, if you do have like an interview podcast or a conversational podcast, is if you're starting out, tapping into your friends and people that may be a good starting point for you. And then after that, you can always send out emails to people who fit into the same category of topics that you like to talk about on your podcast.
Right. That's good start there. I mean,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with tapping into your friend circle,
Never. And honestly, I think some of the funnest podcasts I have been on have been people that I'm closer to, because not only do you get to give great information about what's going on in your life or their organization, but you also get to grow your exposure.
Yeah.
And that's so important for not only young entrepreneurs, but business owners using, a podcast or a YouTube channel or Facebook Live, Instagram Live, which I know we're going to talk a little bit more about those. Yeah. It's the best way to get information out there fast. For sure. Going back to the Port St. Lucie businesswomen and their Facebook with their event, I hope to see some Facebook Lives there, because that's really going to gear up their numbers for the next year.
Oh yeah.
People are going to see how fun that is and learn a little bit about the organization, and they're going to want to come back because it's a digital world.
Yeah.
You can get anything on the internet now.
Yep, for sure. A lot of the time, selling that experience online really helps events or even organizations. So keep that in mind when you're doing anything on social media or even on a podcast.
And I mean, that doesn't mean there's no challenges. So tell us a little bit about the challenges that podcasters will run into in the beginning stages.
Yeah, for sure. To start off, streamlining your operational processes are extremely important, but no doubt there's always going to be, technology issues, and you'll double book a guest on your podcast, and that's happened to us before.
That has happened to us
as we go out to the conferences and try to do our podcast. So just keeping in mind that a lot of these guests, they're as interested as you to be on the show and promote their organization, especially like in our case. So I think that just being very clear and open about the situation can help get yourself out of tight spots.
That's a great point, and it leads into the foundation of why we wanted to talk about this. We get people asking how we've grown our podcast. They DM us on Instagram, they send us Facebook messages because they're wanting to grow their own message.
That's
and
right.
I know one of the things that I tend to tell people is you go at it with a little bit of a journalistic side. If there's an event happening, you could offer to cover the event, give it some more exposure. That's definitely how Small Biz Florida operates. Most of our guests on the broadcast, we've met at either events here in the region or for the podcast statewide. We've gone to events all over. I mean, we have been to Tampa, Miami, Orlando, Pensacola. Tom is going to Tallahassee, up to the Capitol. He's taking the podcast there the first couple weeks of February. So learn a little bit about legislature and the future of the SBDC, and that's how we will deliver that message to our listeners and our region and things like that. So
yeah, for sure.
Events are a great place to get started, whether you're bringing your friends and you're interviewing some people at the event, or you're just going to the event yourself and pulling people off the street to talk. That's definitely how we've got some of the best content for our show. And the radio show too, just like the event for Port St. Lucie businesswomen. I hope that Small Biz Florida is going to make an appearance there and interview some of the participants and things like that, and talk about the future of the organization. So
that would be lots of fun.
That's a great point. Yeah. And I can't think of two funner ladies to come to that event and join the fashion show and see Greg up on the stage.
Got my vote. Wait a minute. Not on stage. No.
You caught my joke. All right. So Linda, give us 3 helpful tips when starting out as a podcaster, or I think the term a lot of people use now, going back to TikTok, is an influencer. You're using a podcast to send your message out. You're an influencer. So tell us some tips about starting.
Well, the first big tip that I have is to be a good listener, right? I mean, you're going to get invited to be on a podcast and then you're just going to listen to the host talk the whole time. So if it's an interview or conversational podcast, be sure to have guests on that are providing value to your consumers and highlight them in your show. My second tip is, discovering your why before you even get started, so that you know what messaging that you're going to be, putting out there, and you're not all confused and all over the place with the way your podcast works. And then the third one is, preparation is key to success, and being prepared to have a plan before you start, and to be able to record these shows on a weekly basis, and have your guests, like the way to get guests on your show and everything set up so that you avoid any technical difficulties or any double booking, like I was talking about before. Streamline your process so that it's easy for you when you sit down and start recording a show.
A lot of trial and error with anything when you're starting anything new. So great tip on that. And if you stumble, and no worries, that's part of entrepreneurship, and that's part of launching a business for sure. You have to fail a lot before you succeed. So
exactly.
That'll be our tip of the day. Don't be afraid of failure.
I know, right?
Give us the rundown on some of the technical advice for people out there trying to get a digital presence online for their mission.
Yeah, sure. The ideal length for a podcast is 22 minutes. So, try to stay in there. Best day to post a podcast is on Tuesdays. And the best frequency to post a podcast is on a weekly basis.
All right, back up. Why Tuesday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's got to be psychological.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would think it's a Monday. Start your week off right? But
or a Thursday for Small Biz Florida.
I know. Maybe we got to move on to Tuesdays.
Well, you posted on Tuesday. There you go.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
I guess it's early enough in the week where you can still, have Monday as your backup in case, you don't get up early to post.
Mondays are hard.
Yeah.
Monday's hard to really start the week on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I see now. I understand. You're starting your week right on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Loading up your favorite podcast. So what should someone consider when getting started on social media for their business? Would you recommend that they, start with Facebook and go into Instagram? Should they start with a YouTube channel, a podcast? How do they get started with their presence in the digital world?
Yeah, well, like any other thing, you want to be prepared and identify your goals and your buyer's persona and the audience that you're going to market to. One of the great things about the SBDC, and something that we have been working on a lot, is our digital marketing bootcamp with Leanna. And one of the things that you'll be learning in her class is how to identify your buyer's persona and build a marketing plan and learn how to implement it. So that's exciting, and I'm glad that we're bringing that information out to our clients and teaching them how to get started on social media. And then back to what you were saying about the different platforms, social media platforms that are out there. Just because you want to get started on social media, you want to go on every single social platform. Sometimes that's not the greatest thing. Right. You can experiment, surely, but I think knowing what platform is for what. So like Twitter is popular for shorter microblog content. Pinterest and Instagram are visual platforms, with the pictures and the videos. Right. And Facebook and LinkedIn are more business oriented. Facebook business pages don't really work like when you have a personal Facebook page. So, your consumers are not going to be able to befriend you, but they can like your business page, certainly.
That's such a good point that you made, understanding the difference between your personal page and your business profile. We see that a lot with businesses starting out on Instagram. they might have a lot of followers on their personal page, but then they've got to get that content and engagement on their business page, because that's where their message is coming from.
That's right.
So how to cross post, or how to differentiate depending on, you know, what your business is and what your mission is. Understanding the difference and keeping it separate is a really important aspect if you're going to have a digital presence.
That's right.
So in your opinion, what are the best social networks to engage on as a marketing specialist?
Well, like I said, it's very dependent on what type of business you have. You know, personally, I enjoy posting on Instagram, and we use a lot of Facebook in our area because I think it's a very popular social platform.
It's the best place to do your blog posts and things like that. For sure, you can get more content onto Facebook than the other ones.
Yeah, and I think Instagram is very diverse in that you can do sort of like a microblog, but you can also put big blogs on there, you know, treat it as a blog, and then use that as a, you know, basis to jump to other platforms.
Okay, what is a micro blog?
A micro blog?
It's just a smaller version of a regular blog. So instead of, you know, having giant articles that take 10 minutes to read, you have short posts that take 5 minutes to read. So it's just faster consumption.
Okay.
That's how you retain your consumers too. Nobody, and I like some articles you can see on social media will say 3-minute read. Things like that. Nobody's gonna click on your 10-minute blog post unless they're researching something. So understanding how to condense your message and get it on social media is imperative.
For sure.
One last thing you would suggest doing for social media accounts?
So the biggest thing too that I would recommend is to monitor, measure what matters. Measuring engagement is far more important than your follower count. So be sure to keep in mind of if your content is giving you engagement with your followers. Another thing is, you know, monitor mentions. If somebody adds you or tags you on a picture, be sure to comment and engage with those people, because most likely other people will see that you've engaged and will see that you're very active on social medias. And then the third is, you know, track industry and social media trends. You know, just being mindful of what's trending, it will generate a lot of engagement for your social media platforms.
And the fourth being, call us at 772-336-6285 and take part in our digital marketing bootcamp courses that kick off on January 31st. We're going to teach you a little bit about all the different platforms that Linda just talked about, as well as how to do Facebook Live, how to do blog posting, and how to get started with your digital presence. So again, the number is 772-336-6285, Digital Marketing Bootcamp. Going to learn everything Linda just talked about and more. So we hope to hear from you. And with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have a organization or an event coming up, we are always featuring businesses across the Treasure Coast. You can reach us 772-336-6285. Have a great night.
This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie, WSTU, Stewart.